Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing the Joy of Reading tag. I was tagged in this by Kelly over at Bookish Kelly, so thanks for the tag. Let's see. So the first question is, what do you enjoy most about reading? I think, I know I answered this in one of my early videos, but I think I really just enjoy stories. Like, I think that a love of story is one of the things that comes from being made in God's image, right? Like God communicates with us through stories in the Bible, true stories, but they're still told in story form. And Jesus, when he was on earth, communicated in stories as well with his parables. So I think just a love of story is inherent to human nature. And so that's really what I love about reading, is just getting lost in a good story. What is the greatest benefit you get from reading? I mean, enjoyment, just entertainment mostly. There's, other kinds of books that I read, but mostly I just read for entertainment. Is there any other activity which gives you satisfaction similar to reading? Not similar to necessarily. Trying to think, I guess there are, for some of them, I know I'm saying a lot. For some things, maybe listening to, or watching a movie or a TV show, because again, the story element, you can have a similar story enjoyment watching a TV show as you can a book. They're different for sure, but I guess that's the main thing. Do you have a dedicated time each day or specific day of the week devoted to reading? Not really. I try to read sometimes I listen to audiobooks while I exercise. I don't always. Sometimes I want to listen to music, but sometimes I'll do that in the mornings. I try to listen to the Bible with my son in the mornings. I have been really slacking at that lately. But I try to do that in the morning. I have to catch up really bad on that. But yeah, so no, not really. A lot of times I'll just have an audiobook going while I'm going about my day doing stuff. So, do you have a dedicated amount of time for reading each day? No, I don't. What is your favorite essay or book about the joys of reading? I don't really know if I have one. Obviously Lewis, but I'm just gonna be me and say Lewis there. Yeah, I don't really know if I have one that's about the joys of reading specifically. The Andrew Peterson book I love. Not God of the Garden, the other one. Adorning the Dark. That's more about writing, but it does have thoughts about story and reading stories as well, I believe. So maybe that one actually. What is your favorite quote about reading? I have 3, and I'll give you 3 guesses as to who they're by, and the first 2 don't count. Yes, of course, they're all by C.S. Lewis. One is, someday you'll be old enough to read fairy tales again, just because I like that thought of, there are some books that I read as a kid that I'm going to get to read again to my son very soon when he gets bigger, and I'll get to have a similar kind of enjoyment as I did when I was young. But it's different. It'll be different, but it'll be a good different, getting to see his joy through that. Another one is a children's story that can be enjoyed only by children is not a good children's story in the slightest, or something like that. Because I do like a lot of children's stories. Like Narnia would be thought of by a lot of people as children's stories. I just read Little Lord Fauntleroy for the first time in March, and that's another children's story. The American Girl books, those are actually mostly really good. Kaya and Kirsten notwithstanding. Those were mostly really, really good books, despite being very middle grade in a lot of ways. Lots of those books actually got 5 stars from me just because they were really good. And then last one is just, you can never get a cup of tea long enough, or a book long enough, or a cup of tea large enough to suit me, or the other way around. I think you can never get a cup of tea large enough, or a book long enough to suit me. I think that's how that goes. I also love that joke online that's you can never get a cup of tea large enough or a book long enough to suit me. And then, J.R.R. Tolkien puts down Lord of the Rings. Lewis eyeing the book. How much tea you got? Obviously not all books need to be long. I do like a good short book, but sometimes sometimes books do deserve that length. And, as I sit here staring across the room at the Count of Monte Cristo, I'm not sure how much that one deserves the length. We'll see when I finally get to it. But, yeah. I like those quotes about reading. If you were denied time to read or access to books, how would you cope? Tell stories in my head. I do that anyways, so probably that would be how I would fix it. Watch more movies, probably. Yeah. That would mostly be it, I guess. Alright, so this was a very short tag, but honestly, I'm filming this at like 9:20 at night, so you know what? I don't care. It'll be easier to edit too, which is great. I love an easy edit. Alright, so the question is, though, who do I want to tag? I will tag, let's see, I'll tag Chrissy over at Chrissy's Purple Library, and I'll tag Shannon over at Old American Spirit. I'd like to hear her thoughts, and I'll tag Anna at In Search of Wonder. Sorry if any of y'all have already been tagged in this. I don't know who has and who hasn't, so anyways. Alright. So that is the Joy of Reading tag. In the comments, why don't you let me know what your favorite book about the joys of reading is. And please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye. I just wanted to give you guys a little update about my Etsy store. I have actually just started releasing a new Easter collection, like some Easter specific shirts. They should all be up by the time this video goes up, so I hope you guys will go and check those out. Link, as always, is in the description.